Hello, my name is Syed Hassan Naqvi, and I will be presenting my evaluation questions for the music promotion package for our A levels second year, also called at A2. As you can see, there are four questions, and I have to evaluate them accordingly. So when moving on to the question number one, that is um question number one is, how do your products use or challenge conventions, and how do they represent social groups or issues? When we talk about the music video, first of all, in our music video, we mostly challenge the conventions and the codes rather than following them. Okay, so first of all, when we talk about convention and codes, let me elaborate or explain myself thoroughly. They are the traditional way of things, and how the things and the traditions are kept in the contemporary time or contemporary media. So and it's also it is a set of rules set by the societies or some media moguls. So um so our music so when we talk about our music video, it shows a teenager boy in a forest exploring the possibilities of finding himself, and he is done with his love life and all the negative aspects around him. So he's learning new stuff, he's letting go of his past, and he's walking around the forest, trying to find himself, sitting here and there, and um, not a typical type of video which is always shown. So it is also not representing any social groups, sorry, not representing any issue, but I for one aspect, as yes, it is representing both issues, as it is going against the convention, as the topic that I implemented in my music video is the men's right, which is not commonly discussed by anyone, or even in media, in any other media product. So I want to show my actor, as he has been exploring in the possibilities. He's a teenager boy, of course, and he's in a forest and exploring the possibilities, finding himself, and is done with his love life and all the negative aspects around him. So when we talk about sorry, when we talk about his love life is pushed back, and that is least discussed in this whole video, and shown in the video. And when we talk about the negative aspects, yes, that is the most shown aspect around him. So when we talk about that issue, women the men are being pushed back, and they're not being displayed in the magazine or in the um what do you say, in the news, or in any talk shows, or any famous media platform, rather than they're being shown as they're demonizing themselves as a sexual product, so, or as a sexual object, sorry. So we also, keeping in mind, we also went against this stereotypical romantic and heartbreak conventions, and reversed the role of the character, as mostly females are the one who are feeling broken up and who are feeling sad. So we want to reverse this role, and we want to show, without any female artist, that the male can, as this was a music video about a dream. So he wakes up in a dream, and he roams around. It's like a dream. So a dream can be shown anywhere, in a forest, in a ocean, in a sea, any architectural area. So so for my theme of this song was a forest. So we want to create the music video in the monochrome tone, and we want to create the video something out of the box by reversing the role and not keeping any female artist, as we just want to keep this video as a whole solo artist. No protagonist, no antagonist, no binary opposition, um, no such thing which will change the topic of this the topic, which is men empowerment, or yeah. So we want to create the music video in the monochrome tone, but it was too a typical aspect. um, as a video we want to keep was really pretty natural, or pretty contrast and pretty toned. So as you can see, there are many music videos in YouTube and in Facebook or any other around social media sites. There are always there's a set genre that the male is more dominant than the female, but somehow when we talk about the dominancy part, somehow females in Europe are portrayed as a strong element. So I want to show that the male can also be strong while they have some soft side in their life, while they're being hard on the outside of the shell, but they're inside but from the inside they're really gentle or really sensitive. um and so we also broke one more conventions of the gender, where the woman is always in the spotlight as a of hatred and left out. So we wanted um to show show the boy being hurt by the world. As you can see here in the music video, um sorry about that. Yeah. As you can see in this video,
Never felt a had someone I'm only laughing with the silence. I found peace in your violence. Can't show me there's no point in trying.
as you can see, as the lyrics as the lyrics quotes, I found peace in the silence. So I want to follow the lyrics of the song, and I didn't want to go anything against this. So like he's finding peace in the silence. So when we're talking about peace, what else better can come in the mind rather than forest? As forest is really silent and it's really dark, and it's really prominent. So when we talk about peace, so the forest was the best mise-en-scene, as why not take advantage of this nature that is being there, and also called the forest. So we also took this inspiration of this forest by the famous celebrity Dua Lipa, she has recently released a song called Last Dance. In the video of Dua Lipa's Last Dance, there's also a she's also challenged the convention of just portraying herself and not portraying any other female, as she's also waking up from the dream, as I've shown my music video. As you can see, he wakes up from a dream and he gets shocked, and so I didn't want to keep this part of the video anywhere else, because I wanted to keep the show in the start, because it's a dream. So if I want to show here, so if it looks a little bit weird, so yeah. So this was the first part of this was the first slide of this question. Move on to the next slide. So we didn't want to show any romantic or so-called romance genre as this depicted happiness. So we didn't want to depict any happiness, we didn't want to show any sadness, we didn't want to show anything else rather than just staying neutral and challenging the conventions. So we wanted the video to be simple yet elegant, as our props and mise-en-scene was the same as we didn't want to show any other characters. There was only one change of the props, as I changed the lower garment of the actor, as we didn't want to just keep the shots, the role in the same pace and the same costume. So we changed the props and costume of that, and the mise-en-scene was the haunted hill in F6 Islamabad. It's it's a little bit it's a little bit nice but a little bit scary, so we want to show the both aspect of that mise en scene. um, so when we talk about any other character, as I followed Dua Lipa's last dance video, so I kept that in mind and followed her steps of keeping the video to the topic and not showing any other actor. um, it was we want our video to be simple yet elegant. um, um, our props and mise-en-scene was the same, as we wanted to brand our character as a solo artist. We also took the inspiration from Love's Easy Love music video, where he's fed up of love and um, um, sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Um, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. As you can see, we took the inspiration from Love's Easy. Yeah. Sorry. Inspiration from Love's Easy Love music video, where he's fed up of his love life, and there's a guitar coming out of nowhere, and we want to show the guitar as a representation of feeling free. So as you can see here.
I'm in need of a savior, but there's no point in trying. I found peace in your vibes. Can show me there's no
As you can see, the guitar is kept on the tree, as it is found to be nowhere. And when he's sitting on a bench, he sees the guitar, and when he sees the guitar, it shows that is representing something, he's seeing something, as the guitar's color is black, and according to color psychology, black color is shown to be strong, to be peaceful, or to be somehow it is sad. So we want to show the three things in this video. The guitar is also a symbol of remnants of his old memories. When we talk about remnants, it's the word for the old, when he's remembering his old memories. As you can see here.
tired of kids. I sit here in the silence. Can show me there's no point.
As you can see, I've done extreme close-up on the video, as I want to show most of the part as the actor, and we want to show that how he's remembering the stuff that he's letting go. So yeah, so we did that, and we also want to show that whatever is happening in his dreams, and he suddenly wakes up. So as I've shown you before,
Yeah.
he suddenly wakes up and is shocked. So when we're talking about the dream and the shock, when we talk about the dream and the shock, as in the Dua Lipa's music video, she's also a solo artist, and she falls asleep and wakes up in a new world, and she's also depicting herself as a strong woman, independent woman. So I want to show my topic of the video was also to be showing men to be as strong and independent. And so yeah, that was my yeah. So moving on to the next slide. So when we talk about the societies, the societies first of all sets a boundary. It is not a common topic to be discussed, as societies are mostly setting boundaries to the set of people, to the set of men, to the set of people, to the women, and somehow societies blame for the hate, and people are always talking about women's right, while men's right are always being pushed back. So when we talk about this, as I've spoken before, there's magazines, there are movies, there are like advertisements for women empowerment, and there are like posters, and there are billboards of just women. They're like mostly, when we're talking about males, so males is like they're being kept as a they're being demonized as a sexual objects as well. So when we talk about asexual objects, so I challenge the theory. Sorry. It is believed that only women are weak and not strong-willed. So when we talk about that, I want to keep in mind that not only women are weak-willed, but men are also weak-willed as well. So and moving on, moreover, so we challenge the theory of Laura Mulvey's theory of, which is the male gaze, where the woman is an object for men, which is sorry, so object for a men. So I challenge this convention, as I want to say, I want to show that not only women are sexually kept shown as a sexually object, but men are also being demonized and being shown as being sexually shown to the to the crowd, to the audience. So yeah, so I challenge this convention, of that, men can also get by hurt by society, and when it's all kept in a burden, as lyric quotes, my whole life I feel like a burden. So when the artist is talking about the how he feels like a burden, so when we talk about the men, they're always being shown strong, they're being strong-willed. So when we talk about men, when we're talking about the particular artist, he has been gone through a lot of pain and struggles, and through a lot of hurdles to fulfill the norms of the society. So, and how belittled he feels against the society, and how the norms of society has pushed him far away from who he is, and he has to find himself, rather than just being closed in the room or being in the dark. So that can also cause some psychological effect on his brain. So yeah, so that was my um, issue, and the social group. To clarify more of this issue that we address is like men's right and teenage love, rather than going to the women's right and more going to the aspect of love and genre. So it is about like a little bit of teenage love, because the actor is quite young, it's the teenage, so we want to show the audience, and we target the audience to be young. So and we want to show that how harmful can it be, and there's no proper men's right. So when we talk about the men's right, there's like there was a men's right movement in the US called the men's right movement. So it branched off from the men's liberation um, from the men's liberation movement in the early 1970s, as the people were like demonizing male sexuality, and there was a campaign called repeal um, the registering. So when we're talking about male sexuality, yes, it is also being demonized by other women and people all around the world. So there is not a single aspect which can be discussed in this topic, as this is a talk about men's empowerment. When talk about women empowerment, there are like a lot of topics to be discussed. So moving on to the um, next slide, which is our website. Our website was majorly following the conventions. It consisted of all of the items the website that a website for music requires. For example, tour dates, gallery, music, contact, etc. So as you can see here, we kept the homepage really classy. We kept the video shown mostly showing the actors, rather than showing the other aspects of the video. So we want to show the audience, that this music video is a product of the actors, the actor which is artist of the song. So we wanted to show the website to be really simple, like for example the tour days, and as I mentioned that before. So however, we noticed that some websites have plain colors as their background, only they're showing just white and black. So I what I had in mind was, why not think something out of the box and implement that strategy on my website. So so I kept this whole background pink and this black and white. So this was the good side and there was the bad side, and so yeah, so I want to show that. Yeah, so um, as the background was our own picture of our own artist, sorry, of it was a picture of our own artist. So that shows it gives a clear statement and puts the artist in the spotlight. Also, we challenged one more convention by leaving the website's homepage empty, by just showing the artist's name and song title. When we're talking about that, mostly websites are um, mostly website is just the character's name, sorry, the actor's name, or um, or just a song title. There's no combination of both and this and that. So we kept in mind to be keeping the website to be really simple and classy. We had the tour dates here, as you can see here. We have the gallery. Now when we're talking about the gallery is the most important aspect of the life. It shows how committed the artist is to his work, and how the audience is seeing the art, and the how the audience is seeing the artist. um as you can see, there are like my songs, where the songs are there of the artist. Here's a song, and there's the details of him, of how he has emerged himself from the bottom to the top. So and this is a contact based um, portal, which can be reached by the fans, which can be reached for the business, for the tours, for the details, for fan mails, for the love of the for the artist, and so yeah, etc. So this is the most important aspect of the website. Without it, the website is just a barren land of nothing. um, so we challenged this convention and kept the homepage empty. So this gives the website a really classy feel, a really sophisticated feel. We kept the website really simple and plain, yet so informative. So yeah, that was about the website. Moving on to the digipack. So the digipack, that we made our digipack keeping in mind that we have to promote our artists. However, we also want to show a bit of the work in the music video. So hence we added the picture of the guitar and gave the CD cover a silver look. um, as you can see, um, as you can see here, sorry about that. Okay, there you go. We're talking about digipack. So when we talk about digipack, so we have to promote our artists. So by talking about when we talk about digipack, so my digipack was really simple. It has all the pictures of the artists. Sorry, I'm not showing about anything else. Just not showing the guitar, but holding the guitar himself. He's sitting on the bench. The bench scene is also there. The tree, the falling of the leaves scenes is also there. And this was a silhouette look, which gives the digipack a really classy feel and really sophisticated feel, and it gives a contrast to all of these three aspects and three of them. Okay, so this was the inspiration by Demi Lovato's Unbroken album, as there's she is holding a guitar, and she's and Demi Lovato Don't Forget video, where she's holding a guitar, and there's a name of the video, and there's a name and the title of the album. So mostly artists keep their name to mark their product, and mostly they name their album by their name. For example, if Demi Lovato is releasing the album, she will keep the album's name Demi Lovato. So we want to follow the convention by putting the actor's name and sorry the actor's name, the artist's name, and the album's name. um Now, there's also a conventional way of having the artist's name on the cover. So I believe it makes a really powerful statement, and really it justifies the digipack. Okay, this was my question number one. Moving on to the question number two is, how do the elements of your production work together to create a sense of branding? When we were making our music video, so we made a music video with we just didn't make a music video. We made digipack and website. These are called the ancillary tasks, which merge in a way of that it creates a sense of branding. So when we're starting from our music video to our pre-production, so we plan out everything from our mise-en-scene to camera shots to locations, where we want to keep our tripod, where we do want to keep um, the camera, where do you want to keep our the speaker, the anything which will help the actor to really show his work, to really show his expression. So even the song we chose helped to explain the story really well. So our main aim was to show our artist as a brand himself. So we did that mainly through our website and digipack. As you can see here, when we're talking about the songs and the story, as you can see here,
And I've been quite burdened. I do favors. My whole life I feel like a burden.
so when talking about the lyrics, I'm following that convention as well, that I'm keeping the lyrics and the meaning of the song and the meaning of the everything together, not leaving one aspect behind. So so that thing helped in my mind, and that thing helped me to create my website and digipack, following the same thing that I should follow the conventions rather than challenging them. Okay. Nextly, our website, we decided to keep the homepage really vacant, as we didn't want to display any information rather than his name and the song title name. As you can see here, it's just only the actor's name, the artist's name, and the what he is, and what what is his album name. So yeah, we believe that it creates a big statement, yes, of course, to the audience, and it gives a classy and elegant and sophisticated feel and look. However, it shows that art is the main factor and is the most important thing. Yes, it is also believed that when we talk about branding, or when we talk about promotion or products, or the branding of the artist, it shows that the artist is the main key factor of the whole crux, the whole aspect of the video. And if there's no song title, and if we're just putting the song title, then it is called going against the convention. So we didn't want to go against the convention by just putting the actor's name or just the song title. So we want to keep those things both same. So that gives the this picture of a mind, and it, as the background image was also shown him as a brand. So we want to show our actor, the artist, as a brand, rather than showing him something not important, not giving him any importance. Other than that, we showed our branding in our digipack as well. As you can see here, the digipack has its name, its gallery over here, which shows all shows both of them, both the pictures. I didn't want to I didn't want to show any more pictures, because there were like 2-3 pictures in the front page. So like I don't want to be I didn't want to overwrite and overdo stuff, which will make the website not worthy to be looked at. So instead of that, yeah, so our inspiration was just Demi Lovato's Unbroken, um, Unbroken album cover, where it's just her name and the album name, and again it creates a statement to the consumer. So when we're talking about that, it also gives a feel that an artist doesn't need sorry, artist needs his name, sorry, to be on the cover of who he is. If we're not talking about his name, so some people, if he's a struggling or a beginner artist, some people might not know him, might will not know him who he is. So if we're not if he is a famous actor or famous celebrity, so he or she can remove his name, For example, just like BMW, the car, and that they don't need any name, as when they were not anything, so they didn't require names. So now, as they're a really a big really mogul of this industry, so the name of the car or name of anything, it doesn't need to be needed. So other than that, the pictures that we use are of only artists, and we didn't want to use any useless pictures of any other stuff. So yeah, um, again, it creates a statement to the consumer. In the music video, we had our artist lip sync to the lyrical part of the video, as you can see here. mm, as you can
Cause all my life I've
see,
been
can you see it?
fighting. Never felt a feeling of comfort. All this time I've been hiding, and I never had someone to come on. Oh, nah, I'm so
As you can see here, the mostly of the video is being portrayed and being sung by him, and the expressions, and it's all on to the point. We didn't want to show anything hyped up to the audience, as this will this will not take the this will not my topic will be then not be shown as good to the audience. So yeah, I want to make sure the lip sync of the lyrical part is on the point, to the point, and that is, we want to show that the product is owned by him. So this also shows that our production created a sense of branding rather than just consuming. So moving on to the next point. I'm sorry, next question, which is the third question. um, how do your products engage with audience, and how would they be distributed as a real media products? uh, um while we were planning our music videos for the pre-production stage, during, sorry, our media product is a hybrid between entertainment and information, resulting in infotainment. So it's a combination of information um, and entertainment. So as you can see here,
think too much, and I feel like a burden. I think too
it's given some information while entertainment is here.
much.
So it's a mix of both, and yeah, so it's a hybrid between entertainment and information. Okay, so our music is also informative in a way that not only women are hurt, but sometimes men are also weak, and can get under a lot of pressure of the society norm, and can be non-stereotypical as well. So when we're talking about that, it is also a social issue where we talk about only the women empowerment rather than talk about men empowerment. So if they're going through some breakups or patch ups or fights, men tend to do suicide. Or if they talk about marriage, then men usually divorce themselves from their wives. So as it's mostly for mostly the when we talk about this topic, teenagers and youngsters are the most which tend to suicide rather than being a little bit more rather than adults. So we want to create this music video with the solo artist, because we want to keep the actor in the spotlight, as in the video the actor is sad, so and then gets a little bit happy. That means he's taking and letting it all go. So as you can see here, he's um, as you can see here, as you can see, there's a smirk on his face, and he's a little bit happy about it, and he's letting it go. As you can see here, he's a little bit sad.
Me, there's no point in trying to tell me your vibes. Can't show me that.
So that was the phase of being sad, and now it's the phase of being good, as the guitar was a symbol of happiness to him, for him. Um, so when we talk about, when we talk about society and the pressure, so the norms, and it can be like norms can be non-stereotypical as well, which is also a social issue. And after some breakup fight, men tend to do suicide, yes, and it mostly affects teenager, yes. So we want to create the music video with a solo artist because we want to keep the actor in the spotlight, as in the um as in taking letting all go, as we want to create something um, out of the box and not stereotypical. So our video is completely off, without any girl, um, and this was that we discussed the topic of men's power, the men's power, right? So okay okay, so moving on, this results in much more engaging media product. Furthermore, almost all artists and musicians release their products on internet or streaming at sites like Spotify or iTunes. Yes, it is true. When we're talking about releasing music, so when we're releasing music, the artist has to suppose has to be, has to support, the artist has to release the music into a streaming device, rather than uploading on Facebook, because when a person is waiting for, when an artist sets his album to pre-order, so the person has to buy and to sell his product. So these two streaming streaming sites are really important for the artist, as they can promote their stuff and buy as the consumer can buy the products. So, and before uploading or anything, uploading or anywhere and downloading stuff, people can buy or download through this two softwares. I'm sorry about that. Excuse me. When talking about social networking sites, such as Facebook, Twitter, Vimeo, YouTube, Dailymotion, etc., are all very powerful tools to create a link within a large audience. Our media text was also distributed as a real media text through YouTube, as we uploaded our project on YouTube. So we uploaded a video there, because it has a reason, because YouTube is a worldwidely known streaming service, which is for free, which we do not have to pay. For example, like Netflix and that, we have to pay for that. So for the YouTube or Dailymotion, etc., that we don't have to pay, or we can just type the address and log in, and voila, there we are, voila. So so the reason why is there so very effective way, and it's a very effective form of distribution, as is because it's a part of web 2.0. So we also shared this video on Facebook as well, rather than just uploading on YouTube. So when sorry about that. So when we talk about web 2.0, it allows the audience and the consumers to give their personal feedback on the media product, and even share it to the furthermore audience. Yes, web 2.0 has really changed the lives of the persons who were using web 1.5, which was not the contemporary age, and it was a little bit old age, as um, as 1.5 didn't have any advanced media, as 2.0 has really advanced media. For example, we can transfer data, and we can buy the data and through just USBs, through internet, and etc. So when we talk about promotion, so the audience plays a vital role in the promotion, and let it be their friends or families, or our families or our friends. When we give the product to their hand, they can distribute through the CDs, or we can distribute by the CDs, DVDs, the posters, or going to schools and giving out brochures to the principals and telling them to go to this website, and go into each and every classroom of the school and tell them, please visit this website, and blah blah blah. So it is also very as this is the crux of the media platform, as there's no other way to promote the video rather than and there's also one very better and very sophisticated way to promote the video, is to upload to put the whole video on the billboard. So however, as a music video is not is all about men empowerment, and not everywhere is this topic discussed, as there are several media products about women empowerment. As I've spoken before, there are like magazines, TV shows, talk shows. So however, male are just getting demonized by people around the world. So however, I believe male teenagers can decode the encoded message. So this the target of my audience was the targeted audience was teenager male and male across the whole age from 90, 60, any age. So we didn't target any age, but we target the audience that is the male audience. um, Moving on to the last question, which is the question number 4. How did you integrate technology, software, hardware, and online in this project? When we're talking about the hardware, which is also the most main important aspect. Without it, the video cannot be shooted shot. Sorry. In this project, I will say as much as technology I use. We used ample amount of technology. First of all, starting off with the hardware. We used the camera Nikon D7 200 with 50 millimeter and 18 140 millimeter lens. For some far shots, we use 18 and 140. For some focus shots and for some focus pulls, and for some tracking or for some close up, for some extreme close up shots, we use the 50 lens. So we also use some tripods, one tripod and one monopod for the POV, as I was holding the camera on its legs, as you can see here.
I've been quiet for too long.
As I want to show the audience that this is a POV shot, and how is he moving around and how is he walking in his dreams, and yeah. So, and for that we also use a smartphone and for some slow motion, as the phone has 4K technology nowadays, which was in 2014-13 was only 1K or 1080p, which was good, but nowadays 4K has improved a lot of lives, and a lot of media professors are really amazed by the product of being 4K technology. So the camera settings that I used for some slow motion was 60 frames per second, and for some video shot I use 120 frames per second, as you can see here.
Too long. I think I'm tired. Show me peace in your vibes. Can't show me there's no point in trying. I'm at one, and I've been quiet for too long.
As you can see here, I have used 60 frames per second and 120 frames per second, with a shutter speed of 125, and yeah. So we didn't use any 240 but frames per second, as we didn't need it. So, and moving on, so we did not use any stabilizer, as mostly we use tripod and hand movement. So for the hand movement, as you can see here, as this whole part is being used as for the hand movement. As this was really difficult for me to do, as it took at least around one or 1 hour, more than 1 hour. So for that, we did not use any stabilizers, as mostly videos are used as stabilizers. So I wanted to do something out of the box and want to do the original authentic work by myself. So for the editing part and the software part, I'm sorry, for the hardware part, still we use a MacBook Pro and HP laptop, as mostly pictures are used on my iPhone, and I can't transfer pics on my for my iPhone to the Windows laptop. So it was really difficult, so I used MacBook for that. When we talk about the software is also the crux of the media product, for the media. So in the software we use are Adobe Premiere Pro CS6, of course, and Adobe Photoshop CS6. Now Adobe Photoshop CS6 was really new to me, as it was a little bit quite difficult, but I somehow got used to it and got along with it. It was used to create music video, it was used to create the digipack and the website. As you can see here, this is a website, the website pictures are used from the digipack, and as you can see here, the site pictures are also used for the as you can see, the digipack is also used for the DVD logo, the barcode, the silence, the text, every detail is being used by this um, by the Photoshop CSX, which is a really nice software to edit your stuff. Moving on, um, moving on to the sorry about that. Sorry. Moving on to the Adobe Premiere Pro CS6. It was mostly used to do most of the work and basic editing for our music video. Now we talk about editing. When we talk about editing, so you can see here, I did some cutting and pasting um, on the timeline. As you can see here, I'm using RGB curves, and then I'm using the looks, and on the top I'm using program to check the saturation, check the saturations, to check the contrast, and then to perfectly use, and then I use RGB curves to perfectly to perfect the contrast, and then looks to apply looks, and then again check the RGB curves as well. So that is the editing part of. So yeah, we also use CSX for including cutting, pasting of the clips, as I mentioned before, into a sequence on the timeline, as it also renders down clips into slow motion using stretch tool. Sorry about that. A ray stretch tool is a really powerful tool which fills the gap of the shot, which is like when you needed a slow motion shot, so you can have that, and that will fulfill the gap if you're missing any shot or any footage. So I used a little bit of stretch tool in my shot, but mostly for my slow motion I use speed duration, which helped me a lot, as I had 60 frame per second, so it was quite smooth. It was also used to add video transitions. Yes, a video transition was mainly used, as you can see here. Sorry, as you can see here, this was a dip to white effect. I didn't use any much more effects, as I didn't want to show any more, as I didn't want to hype the audience. So by keeping that in mind, we didn't use Adobe After Effects. I was not needed, as I want to keep the video very simple and classy. For the website and digipack, we use Adobe Photoshop CSX, of course. Moving on to the next slide, which is our digipack and website, of course. Our digipack was entirely done on Adobe Premiere Pro CS6, because and Photoshop as well, because I want to check the text by posting on Adobe Premiere Pro first, and then uploading that text onto the Photoshop. So and online technology was also used here, as for example download templates. Now when we talk about templates, as you can see here, as you can see here, I have used this template. So I did some research and wanted to use this type of template, as this is a perfect example of template to me, as to show the actor how does he look. So that was the template. For the online technology, that also plays a very important part of our project. Starting from the pre-production till the post-production, we search on the internet for video references and narrative ideas, as mostly were different or particular genres. So we didn't have any particular genre, except for we just discussed the main topic of male empowerment, or the men empowerment. So other than that, our main source of distribution marketing was social networking sites. Yeah, as for the distribution and for the production, for the promotion, we use Facebook and YouTube rather than uploading anywhere else. um, Going on to the next slide. um, um, yes, going on to the next slide. So 1 minute. Okay, sorry. Going to the last slide of this question number 4. We uploaded our music video onto the YouTube and shared it on YouTube. Yes, of course, in Facebook. So as you can see here, we did a promotion on Facebook. As you can see, I've uploaded a video here and from YouTube to Facebook, and you can see the likes and how the comments are really warm, and they're really appreciating the stuff. There was one comment about the guitar, so I didn't really give quite attention to it because it was just about a guitar, so I fixed that um, after seeing the comment. um, so yeah, that was a promotion, and so that was a promotion for our targeted audience. So due to Web 2.0, which is really helpful for media students and media people, so we got a lot of amount of feedback from our viewers. Lastly, I would like to discuss, we did some risk assessment as well, as you can see here. Yes, there we go. We did some risk assessment that was told by a teacher to for the coursework we have to assess the cautions while we were filming our music video. As you can see here, as you see here, the hazard, traffic, weather, mud, the precautions to be taken, and yeah, so that was the risk assessment. And yeah, so that is the end of the evaluation video. I hope I have cleared myself, and I hope I have said everything, and I have evaluated my questions. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Bye.